how can you make your weeknight cooking a lot less stressful, a lot simpler, so that you have a little bit more time and energy for yourself in the evenings. If you're like me, you've probably been in that space where evenings can get a little crazy, and finding time to cook those healthy meals is really difficult and a big challenge. Welcome, my name is Nina. I am a well-being coach, and I'm here to empower women to take control of their health and their well-being so that they can step into their full potential in all areas of their life. In this video today, I'm going to share with you my 5 key tips on simplifying your meals. I'm also going to share with you how I ensure that I actually stick to and follow through with what needs to get done, and then the power of accountability and why that is so important. Let's get cracking. Tip number 1, and I know you probably anticipated that one, is meal planning, getting a meal plan together. And the way I do this is pretty much I open up my diary for the week ahead and I see what it is that I'm needing. I see, do I have any late meetings that are going to be running late? Do I have any visitors that are coming that I need to consider? Is Craig going to be around? Is he going to be out? Are there days when I'm going to need pre-cooked meals? So I just have a look at the calendar, what's happening and what times these meals are going to be. When I understand my schedule, then I know what time dinner is going to be, how light that's going to be. Is it going to be quite early one at like 5, 6 p.m? Or is it just going to be one of those nights where actually we've got guests coming, or we've got someone staying, or I've got a late meeting, and maybe it's going to be a little later, like 6:30, 7 o'clock. Then I'm going to look at, okay, my lunch, what am I going to have for lunch for that day? And then breakfasts are generally very simple and easy for me. Use a very, very simple planner. You could literally just write it out on a piece of paper. Otherwise, if you'd like to use my one, just pop into the descriptions below. I'll share my free planner with you that you can download, print out, and fill in. Number 2 is meal prep. When I know exactly what meals I need when, I will then actually get into the kitchen and meal prep for the week. Is there batch cooking that I would like to do, that I would like to get done? Are there veggies that I would like to get chopped up? Are there salads that I'd like to make? Is there a salad dressing I need to do? Are there sauces that I want to get done? Sometimes, often this will happen on a Sunday, but very often it'll actually happen on the day or the day after I've done my weekly shop. When I've gone from the farm into town to do my weekly shop, I'll often come back and then I'll actually soak the veggies, wash the veggies, prep the veggies, and have them ready to go. What I'll actually also do then is just re-look at my meal planner and see, does this work? Or maybe I will get a new planner out and schedule another week ahead, because I now know what I have got in my stores. In addition to meal prepping for the meals that I have, I'll also often spend maybe 3 or 4 mornings, an hour to 2 hours in the morning. I have scheduled my schedule that way so that I can really spend a lot of time in the kitchen focusing on foods that are nourishing and nurturing to me. Number 3 is my absolute favorite, and this is multi-use meals. I use this so often. And multi-use meals is something like making roast vegetables and a protein for lunch. I'll make extra roast vegetables, and then in the evening it might just be a roast veg salad, or maybe I will turn those roast veg into a roast veg soup, or maybe it will turn into a roast veg wrap, or maybe we're doing a stir fry for lunch, and again I'll make extra stir fry, and then in the evenings I'll pop that into a wrap, or I'll do that with a salad and reuse the vegetables that way. Another big one is if I'm making like a big protein meal, say something like a lentil bobotie with maybe some rice and a salad. Again, in lunchtime I'll have a little bit of that starch. In the evening I'll probably just have the bobotie and maybe a light little salad with that. Again, just reusing those meals that I have already cooked or prepared. Another favorite that I'm going to throw in here as well is, like, I love batch cooking, and batch cooking things that are easy to freeze. So for those meat eaters in our family, something like the bolognese for spaghetti bolognese, or I'll make a chili con carne, a veggie one, and a lentil one, or a bean one. And those are great to batch cook and freeze. The same with a lot of curries and stews. If I know that I'm going to have a week or 2 weeks where my schedule is going to be quite busy, I'll make sure that I've batch cooked in advance, so that on certain days throughout the next 2 weeks I can draw on those meals at different times, and so that it doesn't feel like we're eating the same thing for 3 days in a row. Other things that are my go-to and that I really enjoy is something like khichdi, which is your rice and mung bean mix using a slow cooker, or my Wonder bag that I use. one-pot meals are absolutely fabulous, especially when you need to travel a lot or on the go. So thinking of things that are easy, nourishing and nurturing are really, really helpful when I do my meal plan and then when it comes to prepping. Number 4 is really collect and stack all these meal plans that you're starting to make for yourself, because you're going to get into the space where, one week you're just not going to be inspired, or you're not really going to know what to do, or you've got so much going on. And when you can go back to all those other meal plans that you have already made, you'll be so, that beetroot salad, or this veggie lentil stew, or this sweet potato burger patty, and you'll be able to draw on things that you have used in the past where you have those items in your pantry. I also think it's really beneficial to have a list of those quick to go to items where you just know there's certain staples that you have in your pantry or in your fridge. If you really do find yourself stuck between a rock and a hard place, that you can go to those. It might be something like maybe egg mayonnaise, or maybe even tuna mayonnaise, or maybe you've got the avo on toast, or crackers, seed crackers. Maybe you make your own seed crackers. So there might just be certain recipes that are your last resort, but a bit healthier than just going and making yourself a peanut butter and jam sandwich or a cheese sandwich. So having that emergency list there of maybe 5 things that are staples in your pantry that you can use if there is an emergency. And number 5 is seasonality. It's just really eating in line with the season. So when it's winter, then I'm more into soups and stews and one-pot meals. And when it's summer, I really do love and I really do enjoy salads and more fresh food. So allow yourself to consider the seasons and to prepare and plan for that as well. It doesn't need to be seasonally. It could just be in the weather. Maybe it's winter and it is a beautiful day. Maybe you just feel like a salad or something lighter. Make sure that you draw that in to your schedule as well. So when you're making your meal plan, maybe just even have a look what's happening with the weather that week. It can be a great help. And then with this, what I love asking myself and what I love asking Craig as well is, how do we want to feel this week? Do we want to feel light and more expansive and a little bit more open? Do we want to feel a bit more nourished and nurtured and grounded? Because when I understand how I want to feel this week, then I also know what types of foods are going to support me to help me feel that way. I want to feel light and expansive. I know that I'm going to be making green smoothies and salads, sprouting a lot, because that's what gives a lot of energy. If I know, I just actually really feel like I want something that is comforting and nurturing and nourishing, I know that I'm going to delve into root vegetables and make roast veggies or soups and stews that have that warming and nurturing feeling. Again, we feel different and we have different needs, so understanding how you want to feel can really be helpful in deciding on what it is you want to be making. So now you're probably saying, Nina, okay, cool, this is great. I like your 5 tips. I'm ready to do meal planning and meal prepping and eat seasonally and to make multi-use meals, all of these things. But how do I go ahead and do it? And this is the behavioral science practice that I use when it comes to this, because this is one of the hardest practices to implement. And that is when motivation is high, step in and do it. So often I'll find either while I'm coaching or being coached or in a coaching group that's when I'll do my meal plan for the week. Often I'll set a little bit of time aside in our coaching group where we all just jot down what we're going to be doing for that week. We don't have to stick to it to the T. It's not about being perfect. It's just having a guideline. We can always shift and change things if we need to. So when motivation is high, that's when you want to do it. Secondly, when I come back from the shops, as mentioned before, that's often when I'll do it as well, because I'm already unpacking everything, so I may as well actually just soak and wash and chop while I'm at it. I'm already in the kitchen, it's already looking like a disaster, so I may as well just get everything done. And then the third one, again, for me, I'll block out certain times during my week. At the moment, it's mornings for an hour or 2, maybe 3 or 4 mornings a week. On those mornings when I know that I just want to make a meal that's a little bit more in depth and maybe is going to need a little bit more time or attention, that's when I will then do it. But I am very clear with scheduling it in my calendar and sticking to that time. And then finally, when it comes to accountability, remember studies have shown that you are more likely to follow through on a habit when there is someone, it doesn't matter if it's your best friend, if it's a family member, if it's your partner, if it's a coach, if it's a community that you are part of, but as soon as you have someone you're accountable to, you are more likely to follow through and make that habit stick. I've seen this over and over in my coaching groups where those participants who actually take a picture of their meal plan on a Monday morning and post it on our WhatsApp group, they are actually more likely to follow through on most days and eat a lot healthier that week. I love the story by one of my students. She was so overwhelmed and flustered. She hated evenings because she never knew what to make, and it always just ended up being these quick, unhealthy meals, and she wasn't enjoying how this is what she was presenting to her kid and her partner. And when she started doing meal plans, a simple practice of a meal plan, it started taking all the stress away. She was like, I'm nourishing myself, I'm nourishing my family, I have a lot more time available for me. And it was all just because she started with creating a meal plan for herself. Often we don't like the structure of things, but very often the structure of a meal plan, again, we don't have to stick to it to the T, having a meal plan takes the stress and the anxiety of what are we going to eat away, because now you already know, you've decided on Sunday morning what's going to be happening for the week, and then when that stress and anxiety each day is eliminated because you already know, we're going to have a stir fry, we're going to have a soup, we're going to have a stew, then don't get caught up in decision fatigue where you're like, open the fridge, don't know what to do, end up going to the shops, buying a whole load of things, a whole load of stuff is sitting in the fridge, going off, going bad because you haven't utilized it. When you have a bit of a plan, then you can go to the shops, you know exactly what you need to get, you get those things, and then you can come back and cook and make those healthy meals. I really hope this has helped you simplify your evening meals, given you some ideas, some food for thought. If you'd like to know a little bit more about the secret power of evening routines, catch my next video. I'll see you there.